All right, welcome. I hope this is going to be as fun for you as it was for me to prepare this. So the last time we talked about language, we talked about the problem of language. And we kind of went around the room and everybody said what they thought the problem with language was. And it was a great discussion. But now we're going to move past problems and have some fun with language, because this was originally going to be my book launch, but the book is not quite ready yet. So we're just going to have some fun tonight and kind of get at some language issues by a little different process. So let me just tell you a little bit about my story and how I ended up being so obsessed about language. When I was in graduate school, I wanted to develop a new type of language, or at least additions to English that got at the language problem that I saw. And what I saw was, it started really with physics and the whole wave-particle duality thing, and how light could be both wave and particle. And then, learning some psychology and the whole nature-nurture debate, and it seemed to me that, well, it's not nature or nurture, it's nature and nurture. Like, they're both of those contributions were needed to, like, raise kids. And it just kind of like fractaled everywhere, and I just started seeing these kind of polarities everywhere. Particularly like yin yang, in that kind of dynamic interpenetration of opposites. And I started experimenting in graduate school with developing new ways to express these kind of, conjoining of opposites. Like for part wholes, I used a kind of like, how you write fractions with, the numerator and the denominator? Well, I was using words, like the part would be in the numerator and the whole would be in the denominator. And that was really clunky and awful. But I kept looking. And I kept diving into trying to understand better these relationships that were, they weren't like static, and they weren't like separate. There was a kind of interconnectedness among the concepts themselves. And I started seeing life too as more of a process, an ongoingness. And English, to me, didn't really convey a good sense of process. It breaks processes into stages and parts and steps and things like that you can then turn into nouns when they're not really nouns. It's really verbs. So English is really a very noun-heavy language, and I was looking for ways to bring a different sense of reality into language that isn't necessarily always so noun-based, like fields. What if we thought about things in terms of fields and field theory? So, I didn't bring my first book. So I started experimenting, and a lot of you have seen the glyphs that I invented before. Robin, are you intentionally crackling papers near the owl?
Yes, because you found the trick. It's only on you now.
We were playing with sound a little bit, sorry.
Oh, I see. So the glyphs that I had invented for my novel were a way of expressing this interpenetration of opposites, this yin yang type of idea in an image, in a kind of a static image, but not, well, I mean, it has a spoken component to it as well, so one of them is muishiwa, which means there is only one side that serves as both sides, and fuangu, which means the deeper you look, when you get to the heart of whatever it is you're looking at, it looks like the opposite of what you started with. So if you look into an abstract concept like love, you look deeper and deeper and deeper, and you get to something very tangible, like a kind gesture, a smile, a hug, something very real. And the opposite is also the case. If you look deeply into something material, like this table we're sitting around, and you look into, the molecular structure of the wood, and then the atomic structure, and then the subatomic structure, and, by the time you get to the bottom of it, it's just like some vibrations maybe, or maybe some things moving, well, they wouldn't be things, they would be, like energy just moving around. And so there you are at the opposite of the very solid thing you started with. So it's these kinds of questions that I've been pondering. But after I published the novel, I started realizing that, just changing the concept structure isn't sufficient, because concepts are only one part of a complicated system of systems that is language. So first we'll draw out our system of systems. Let me just draw it, and then I'll show it to you. So we can think of these things as like interconnected rings, like the ones in the Olympics, or so we could either do them like as circles. I'll show you in just a sec. So I don't know if you can see him there. Gregory's going to draw on the Zoom whiteboard. So if we have one circle as concepts, okay, some of the other circles, meaning some of the other parts of language, if you guys want to move.
We're good.
Okay.
We're fine.
Some of the other parts of language, for example, are logic, metaphors, we've talked about metaphors before here, and the metaphoric nature of even what we consider to be like literal language. We have category structure. Category structure has to do with what words can be used to describe other things, what words can be predicated to other words, what kinds of characteristics can be appended to other words, like, for example, we generally don't think of rocks as being conscious. So, we have categories of conscious, unconscious, sentient, non-sentient, animal, vegetable, mineral, cute, ugly, able to understand language, unable to understand language, and depending on what culture you're in, you arrange things in your in the categories according to your culture. So culture is one of the circles. What am I forgetting here? Oh, semantics. Semantics has to do with the context and the way the language functions in the context that you're in. The large context all the way up to the small context, including just like one-on-one conversation. And syntax. So that's the order that you put the words in. English has generally subject, verb, object syntax. German generally has subject, object, verb syntax. Some languages don't use words per se. They use affixes and suffixes. So you'd start with a root and then add affixes that might say like who's talking. Is it I, you? Is it plural, singular? And then you'd add, the objects as affixes. And so you could like say an entire sentence in a single word in some languages. So this is basically our system of systems, and they're all interconnected. So you can't just modify one without there being ripples, and there need to be ripples throughout the rest of them. So when I just made up new concepts, they had absolutely no effect on language whatsoever, because even though I was coming from like a different category structure, and thinking about them, at a cultural level quite differently, nobody else was. Imagine that. Right. Because language is a function of agreement among the people in the culture. So we're going to do a little bit of an experiment. Well, let me give you a little background first on what we're going to do here. So did everybody see?
I don't think the folks at home can see that.
Well, here, do you want to hold it? Just somebody take it and hold it up to Athena.
Well, it's not just, okay, it's live. Yeah, there we go.
There. That's as good as we're gonna do.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So, we in this group, it was a while ago, I think like 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. We watched a movie called Conlanging, the Art of Crafting Tongues. If you haven't seen it, you can go to conlangingfilm.com, and it's a lovely movie that is a documentary about a number of conlangers who just love to invent new languages for fun and now for profit, including movies. There are a lot of movies that are, started with, maybe Star Trek. And David Peterson was one of the people featured in the movie. He did the Game of Thrones languages. He's done a number of movies as well. Just a really creative, brilliant, funny guy. He's got a whole bunch of, if you're interested in this, he's got a whole bunch of YouTube videos talking about inventing languages. Anyhow, he organized a conference at Georgetown University last year, and I was able to join the live stream. And he did something really different. He really took creating language to a whole new level. He invented a language based on jelly bellies. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. You can watch it. The recording is up on Copicon, KOPICON.com. Copicon it's based on Copico candies, which are, like coffee flavored. It's like, sucking on caffeine. Anyhow, it was kind of the Woodstock of conlanging events. So he created this entirely new type of language based on taste. And we're going to do not exactly what he did, because he had a whole room full of linguists, and we've got a room full of Jungians. So we're going to do it differently, but it'll enable us to step outside of our linguistic ruts so that we can then turn around and look at them. Okay, so this will be an exercise in 1, creating meaning, 2, examining some of our assumptions about language, because hopefully this exercise will enable us to examine the assumptions we have about language that we don't know we have. So let me just tell you a little bit here about how it's going to go, and then we're going to do it. So I'm going to hand out, I'll start doing that now, something called a Swadesh list. And this was developed by a guy named Swadesh. Sorry, I forget his first name. But he was looking for universal concepts, things that you'd find in every language. And so, this list has been developed and changed over time. But this is a basic list of about 100 concepts that you find pretty much in every language. So So they're universals, or a set of near universals, we might say. And then, as a group, we'll pick out 9 terms. So we're going to have a very small language. We're going to pick out 9 terms that give us the most flexibility. So this is your constraint for only having 9 terms. That give us the most flexibility to describe or discuss Jungian ideas. So think archetypes, okay? So we'll take 10 minutes to do that. And then after we've picked our 9 terms, we'll put them up on the whiteboard and then assign them to a Jelly Belly flavor, okay? And then each person will pick out some Jelly Bellies to create an expression, a meaningful expression using these 9 terms, okay? And then you will give that same set of Jelly Bellies to the person sitting to your right. So you guys are just gonna be like right here. So you'll go that way. And they will then have to determine what your expression was. And the person to their right will have to determine what their expression was. Okay.
Do we
So what's the first
agree on the original 9?
Right, so I'll give you 10 minutes to discuss amongst yourselves which 9 terms you want to use. And you can ask yourself things like, do you want to have nouns, to have verbs, to have pronouns, to have adjectives? How many do you want to have? And
Is this like an IQ test?
no, I mean, make it fun. This shouldn't be like, oh my God, are we gonna fail? No, it's just fun. And then I'll give you a list of all the Jelly Belly flavors, and you can write down what each one means. So that why don't I do that now? Why don't we hand these out now too? So
I'm putting in the chat most of the words.
Anybody needs a writing stick?
do you want to pass those around?
Everybody have
Pass
writing
this.
sticks?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Listen out.
Okay, so it's about 7:30. So why don't we take until 7:40? And I'm gonna turn this mic off and put it to the owl so the people in Zoom land can hear what we're discussing.
This looks like a devious democratic process.
Okay, so we're on the owl mic right now.
Okay, so we got 100,
We're supposed to reach a consensus on 9 words?
Yeah, and you don't have to follow, so I was giving prompts when I made this handout, like present tense, past tense, verb, personal pronoun / agent, and then 4 nouns. Now, you don't have to follow that. You can pick as many as you want. David was doing things like aspects, but that's for linguists. We're just Jungians here, so we're just going to use regular parts of language. Okay, so did everybody in Zoomland get, John, you put the handouts on the email you sent, right?
No.
You didn't?
I don't know anything about the handouts.
I did copy in the chat the words.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them, but most of them. I grabbed them with my camera.
Okay. I will quickly upload. I'll upload these things to a Google Doc and put the link in the chat as well.
There are lots of obvious choices that are not appropriate, I think.
Not appropriate but obvious.
Yeah, like, I don't know, dog.
Dog? What do you mean?
Sorry, John.
Just because you have a cat. Is cat okay?
Of course.
So what do you do when you have, I have 9, I have
Yeah,
accomplished
okay.
9,
So,
but I can't stop.
No,
You can say what your 9 are. You can argue with each other about.
oh,
We can't use dog, but could we use bark? Oh, never mind.
so are we just gonna all read our 9 and see if any of them match?
that would be a great way to start.
Yeah,
just,
are you gonna read your 9 now?
No, cause I only have 7.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
gosh. I have 12.
Do we wanna read them out
well,
loud, you said?
I'm narrowing it down from this long list to a shorter list, which will get to a shorter list, which will get to a shorter list.
Yeah.
Until we run out of time.
Do you want us to read out loud, or you don't, you want us to decide if we wanna read out loud?
Yeah,
Oh, you.
if you want to start, okay, you can start.
So I've got 9, they're pretty obvious, I think. Person, heart, woman, man, blood, egg, die, heart, earth,
I think we have to go-
water, fire.
I think we need to go by number, because otherwise it's hard to.
Okay, that's 9.
So would one express opposition or affirmation?
I don't remember.
Are we maintaining a tally? Are you doing the tally? Or I can do it.
Not right now. I'm trying to get these uploaded for the people on
You know what
Zoom.
we could do is just like you tell we tell the number and the word. I'm going to just write the numbers blindly, and then I'll give the winners. Okay?
Okay,
Well,
so,
let's do that.
so start again?
Yes.
Okay, so 16 is woman,
Okay.
17 is man, 18 is person, 30 is blood, 33 is egg.
Wait, 33 is egg.
33.
33 is egg, 52 is heart, 61 is die, the verb. 72 is sun, 73 is moon, 82 is fire, and 75 is water.
Okay, we go, shall we go?
I'll go. I have path.
Number,
What was that?
I didn't number them, so skip over me.
What was the word?
Path,
Path.
yeah.
That's good. Where's that?
it's
I'm not gonna do it now though, because I need to go back and number them.
Okay. Well, wait, they already have
They have
numbers, Paul.
numbers.
you just have to look on the list for the number.
Yeah, but I have to find where the words again. That's gonna be a while.
Half is 80 times.
Thank you.
We have much light over here. Okay.
He's gonna go?
Are you
Do you want me to go? Okay, I'll go. Number 19, fish. Number 33, egg. Number 60, sleep. 72, sun. 73, moon. 74, star. 76, rain. 79, earth. 92, night. I think that was 9, maybe.
Okay. Number 1, I. 18, person. 23, tree. 57, sea. 59, no. 60, sleep. 75, water. 79, earth. 96, new. Sounds like bingo.
Yeah, right, that's right, that's right.
Okay,
So I have number 1, I, that's already been done, so that you're keeping a tally, right? And 2, you, 10, many, 11, 1, and 12, 2. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woman and man, 16 and 17. I already got 2 more, oh my gosh.
I haven't heard a lot of verbs.
Yeah, we need verbs.
I have some words. I
Okay.
have the numbers now too.
I have a couple
what
birds.
is John?
Are you done, John?
Yeah, well, I'll choose a couple of verbs. Say, 71, and, well, I don't know, this kind of bite, 56.
Whoa.
I have path 85, fire 82, earth 79, rain 76, say 71, sea 57, I 1, you 2, we 3.
Oh, I didn't even see we.
John. Great.
Dude, I can read them.
Next.
Okay, 19 fish, 40 eye, 61 die, 64 fly, 66 come, 74 star, 82 fire, 85 path, 92 night.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you start, looking at the tally and seeing which ones,
Got voted for more
which
than
ones
once.
got voted for.
We're not done yet.
I'll do mine, I'll do
Have we
mine.
heard from
Okay.
I
everybody?
have, I, Oh, I'm not saying the number, I'm putting it. I have, we,
Yeah.
many,
What's the number?
10.
Okay.
16 women,
Mhm.
17 men,
Mhm.
18 person, 30 blood, 61 die, 72 sun, 73 moon, 75 water, 79 earth, 85 path. That was 9.
I don't know.
Yeah. Someone else?
David,
Yeah, well, I don't know how many 9 are, but it's,
you should go.
but I'll get a number, so, let's see, I had 1, 2, and 3, I, you, and we. And then 16 and 17. And then, let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I had, which was the next one? I had 40. That's 6, and that's I. And now for some verbs, I had, let's see, what I have for, I had 59 no, and I had 60 sleep. Okay, so that's 8. I get one more. And then I had Earth. Earth is 79.
Okay.
So that was my
Okay.
list of things.
Okay,
Anybody else?
Umar?
Okay, I'll watch.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so
We have
It-
a lot of consensus.
if we go, let me give the maximum got 5 iterations, so I.
Yeah, so we clear,
Yeah, call out the number there.
So number 1, I.
Mhm.
I'm going to see that.
A woman, man.
And then we have Earth, 79. Those are the ones that got 5.
Yeah.
Then the one that got 4, there is woman, man,
And person, right?
no,
Person, I thought had 4.
maybe. That's it. So person,
Well, I mean,
that's fine. And then we are in the trees.
and then everything else, and then we have 3, yes.
And then we have 2 for the trees, 2 you, 3 we. And rain, 76.
And we.
Fire, 82. Pass, 85. And then in the 2s, we have many,
What's that?
10. Fish, 19. Blood, 30. Egg, 33. Eye, 40.
Hey, that's more than 9.
No, I
C,
didn't see, oh,
57.
We have to
No,
discuss.
59. Sleep, 60.
60 sleep, and then,
Die, 61.
okay.
Say, 71. Sun, 72. Moon,
70.
73. Star, 74. Those are the 2s. And the lonely ones,
Yeah, we're well over 9,
that are,
so we.
I know, but just like, yeah.
So just to keep the process going,
Yeah.
let's not go through the singles, since these came up the most.
Yeah.
And, just, of the ones that you've just listed, which ones would be most necessary for a language, speaking about Jung, and like, how do you balance them? You know, like, do you have a few pronouns, a few nouns, a few verbs? Do you want, an entirely noun-based language? Do you want everything to be about sun, moon, and stars?
Or do we wanna ask, see if anybody in Zoomland have anything to say?
Right, okay, does anybody, before we go on, does anybody in Zoomland want to chime in with anything, their suggestions or
What are all-
recommendations?
What are all those things? There are 4 things in chat.
In chat?
I put links to documents to the 2 handouts in chat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Peter put a number.
Peter Holland listed his,
Oh, yeah, and Titus did too, okay.
so we need to add those in.
Gotta do that again.
Yeah, okay, so Titus has 1, 2, which we already have, 29, which is flesh, 55, which is eat. Always love that one. 57, see, which we already have. 65, walk. 75, where's that one? Water. 79, earth. And 100, name. Alright, okay, where's Peter?
Right there.
There's Peter. 2, you, 18, person. 29, flesh. 55, eat. 62, kill. 75, water. 79, earth. 85, path. And 92, night. All right, so thank you everybody for contributing to that. Is that another?
So how does that change her?
Andrew says, I don't want words, I want dance steps. I'm with you there.
Well, I would agree with that.
That could come up in the after we get through this part of the exercise, actually, Andrew. Okay, so to narrow them down, I have them, I will write them on the whiteboard. The ones you pick and the ones you give assign a flavor to. And you don't have to stress about the flavors, those can be as random or as not random as you want, you might want to, we have a number of fruits, those might be one linguistic category. We've got a drink, that might be another linguistic category. Actually, I tended to go a little heavy on the fruit, sorry about that.
Well, that's the way candy is.
True. And I didn't wanna get really bizarre, funky, gross flavors. Cause you might be putting them all in your mouth at once.
Oh, we have to eat these?
Yeah, you don't have to, but that's part of that's the new linguistic,
You won't understand if you don't.
exactly, yes, you won't understand. Okay, so, I think there's some obvious choices, right? The I and the you, or maybe just I, or I and we, what would you like to do?
Well,
Earth is the one that's just.
the most there, and then the person was another, ended up with at least 5.
Okay,
So we had person, I is, had the large number, and 18 person, right? Again?
Path
And
also.
then Earth, I think that's 6, so Earth is really the highest one.
Okay,
Okay,
so let's start with Earth. How would you like to assign Earth?
I don't understand the difference between the two, so are we working with this sheet yet, or with, no?
Not yet,
Okay, all right.
not yet.
That's
Well,
why I didn't understand.
Well, that's what we're gonna do right now.
Okay.
is-
We're doing
is-
that now.
So cappuccino,
So she says cappuccino. Do you have a reason for that?
because
For
it's
what?
brown.
Because it's brown.
Yeah.
For Earth?
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, if you want
I
blue,
think cappuccino's fine.
okay,
For Earth?
It's
For Earth.
earthy.
Why not?
there we go.
What,
that's fine. I'd argue for blue.
Okay.
what, I don't understand why it says verb after cappuccino.
Don't worry about that. That was my trying to be suggestive, but we're not gonna
Oh,
necessarily
okay.
follow my suggestions.
I got it.
Okay, so cappuccino is earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Got one.
Gregory, what's next?
Next is, I and you.
I don't know that you is necessary,
Oh, well,
because we have to cut these down, so.
Honestly, I'm not sure
I'm
I
gonna
is.
agree with that, because you can say I and you can say I. And you, people understand, because you start with yourself first. And I think you already have it as like peach on the
You know,
list.
40 for the pronoun too.
I think banana is good for I.
banana?
I,
Banana?
Banana?
I started.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
I was thinking of lime, but that's okay.
Okay,
I
so
like banana.
pronoun I is the banana
I am
flavor.
a banana.
Okay,
Okay,
next.
subjective banana.
Which one was?
Subjective banana, uh-huh.
Person?
Person? Well, peach.
Obviously.
Peachy keen, but,
Okay. Person?
Person is peach.
Uh-huh.
Is that gonna get kind of redundant with I though?
Good
Without,
question.
Yeah, we need verbs.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I can
I
find
think we could
verbs in the
dispense with
trees.
pronouns altogether,
So in the trees,
truly.
we have,
C,
the first verb in the trees.
They're not gonna make interesting
There
messages.
is no verb in the trees.
We hardly do.
yeah, C is,
we had,
What verbs?
we had die, we had,
Well, I think die should
We
be
had
there.
die, I
See,
had three.
sleep, die, say,
No,
No,
no.
someone said kill, I believe.
Fly, come,
Sleep. Okay, so die.
sleep.
Crushed pineapple.
Crushed pineapple.
Crushed
right.
pineapple is die. Okay.
Definitely.
Terrible death.
Yeah.
Watch out for those fallen pineapples. Okay. So we still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm gonna promote no, K-N-O-W.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Which flavor would you like
yeah,
to
no,
assign it to?
Coconut.
Yeah.
Coconut?
Oh, very good choice.
Okay.
Is that no?
yes,
Yes.
that's canoe.
No.
All right, what else was popular? Is path on the list?
Path, yeah.
Path is good.
Path is on the list?
Path was very popular.
Path,
Path, are we saying path?
Path,
P-A-T-H,
85.
85.
Yeah. Okay, we've got berry blue, lime, orange, and cherry left.
But we didn't get
I vote for
the sun,
orange.
moon, and stars, and they were.
Yes, right.
Well, we still have a few to go.
The whole cosmos.
We have a lot more flavors.
Like
we
that.
could do
Yeah, yeah.
fire for orange. That, we had a lot of fire back.
Yeah, that would be good.
What's that?
Let's
Fire.
put sun and orange.
Sun?
Yes.
Where did path?
I think cherry would be good for path.
Fine.
Harry, yeah.
Okay,
Cherry.
cherry?
Okay,
A
cherry.
cherry path,
We need some more verbs.
and the sun is what? The sun is
Orange.
Sun is orange. Okay, we've got 2 openings left, if you wanna get another verb in there. We only have, oh, well, we've got know and die.
Yeah, we need another verb.
Sleep.
How about see or hear?
Dominate sleep.
Sleep?
Yeah, sleep is good.
David and I are the only ones that have.
Sleep is also a noun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's here listed as a verb.
Okay, but don't forget that these words aren't only going to be, you have to combine these words to
Right.
say something. So also look
Good
at the whole as you're, as you're picking these words, also pick,
Yeah, that's why I think person should go. Person.
Yeah, person could go.
Yeah,
Okay.
person should go.
okay, we're erasing person.
What about, like, a sensation, see, hear?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm-
C, we got 3 votes for C.
Okay,
Okay.
C should be blue, berries.
C for blue? Just
Yeah.
because it depends on how you spell. Okay. Okay. Now we got 2 left, right?
2 left.
Okay.
Left.
So think of how you might be combining these in a Jungian sort of way.
Anyway,
In any way.
any
yeah.
comprehensible way.
Did we do blood already? We did, no,
We
blood,
don't have blood up here.
We didn't, but we used up cherry
that was-
already.
yeah.
We could move cherry to P.
We're still short
I
on
mean,
verbs.
path.
We're still short on verbs, yeah.
We're short on verbs, we're short on
You've got 3 verbs here. See, know, and die.
Yeah,
We could have kill
kill,
and
Very nice.
I think that's gonna be too many verbs.
dies.
You know, see and know something.
Man and woman, we don't have man and woman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they got a lot of votes
Yeah,
too.
we did.
Yeah.
We need more flavors.
Well, that could be subsumed in the person, bring back person and mean both man and woman.
I
thought fish made the cut too.
Maybe we should add
Yes, person.
more words.
Person
All
is
right.
more.
Person can
We
come
need
back.
person.
Person?
No,
Okay, put person back.
It was
in.
Oh, we
peach.
already put it.
I think person is back because it subsumes man and woman.
Okay,
Okay,
so we
person
can,
is
we can
back.
make that distinction. We can
Yeah.
put person, okay, man and or woman. Self and others. Okay, so. Well, Mark, can you grab that big book next to my computer? We'll just
How
use
are
that.
how are we gonna move these around between?
Yeah, everybody's gonna get up and come to the table. That's gonna be easier than trying to put them on the table, I think. Is that okay?
Or should we just pass them around?
Whatever
We
works.
could just pass them around.
No, I'm saying we can come,
Yeah.
instead of trying to put them on this table. So we'll, once we figure out our sentence, we just go pick our jelly beans. Yeah, we could put, well, try to put them on the table because everybody is reaching.
So how do we use the chart here?
Did you fill it out from
Did you say
whiteboard? Cheap. Whoa.
Oops, I don't think anything broke. You can put them in these little glasses, so, one, you can, Put the ones to give to your neighbor in the little glass, okay?
We have, we have cups.
They have to be in order, right?
Uh,
Or do you just give them a pile of jelly beans and let them figure out what order it goes in?
give them a pile of jelly beans.
Oh, we don't give them an order.
Oh, that's a different kind of, okay. That changes things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's no order.
That's what the person has to figure out.
Oh.
Okay, so you have to figure out what you wanna say, and then you have to hope they get it, even though it's out of order.
But they'll do something else with it.
So,
John, do you think this is how
If you
things
don't
break with?
use more than 3 or 4 jelly beans, you have
I
a
think so.
chance.
Yeah, if you just use
If you put in
2,
all 9, they'll probably not get it in the right order.
Maybe the person doesn't know what order even the sentence is.
no,
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I think that the order, it should be in.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know what the goal
Well,
is.
this is, you see, this is part of the challenge.
A flavored journey.
It would be
So,
like a
so let me say a few things about that. Hang on, while I put the cappuccino. Some of these got a little mixed up here. Okay, so
Ungrammatical flavors?
what is order? Order is syntax, right?
Can we use the same word more than once?
Yes. Yes, you can. For now, like there aren't any rules about syntax. You can make up rules about syntax eventually. But the thing about think of the constraints of this language. Let me get back to my position here. So the constraints of this language are different than the usual constraints of language. When we speak, it's the throat and the shape of the mouth and the tongue, and those are constraints that give us the kinds of words and sounds that we use. There are some cultures that use clicks and more guttural types of things. The constraints of this language, the Jelly Belly language, are the flavors. And so what physiological constraints do we have? Can we distinguish multiple flavors simultaneously? How many flavors can we distinguish simultaneously? Like if you put 5 jelly beans in your mouth as like a whole sentence, could you pick out the individual meanings of the jelly beans?
But if I had many M&Ms before.
No,
You're handicapped.
So
you're biased.
so
We have a chocolate bar.
get up and get some jelly beans.
But we get to make up the rules, right? Each one, we get to make up our own rules?
Yeah,
Okay, so we can put them in order.
you can, if you want to give them to the person next to you in order, you
Yeah.
may do that. If you want to just put them in a cup and say, here,
Okay.
you can do that.
Is there any Scotch tape in the kitchen?
There's some Scotch tape right here.
Well,
What do you want Scotch tape?
these are mine.
Because I wanna do it in order. I wanna.
She's gonna Scotch tape them to the napkin.
You didn't have to eat Scotch tape too.
So for those of you in Zoom land, you don't have to have jelly beans. I probably should have said this earlier. You don't have to have jelly beans to do this. You can use whatever's in your kitchen. You can use a slice of apple, a slice of orange, orange, you can use some walnuts or pecans or yesterday's leftover salmon, you know. Just think about what you're gonna be putting in your mouth.
All right, so now I'm supposed to put some of these jelly beans in a cup and hand them to Gregory and hope he understands something? That's the idea?
He has to figure out
Right.
what your meaning is
Okay.
based on our dictionary that we created. Okay, there's no perfect dictionary, to quote our, was that last week, John? Or was it the week before?
It was
The week before, yeah, our Whitehead lecture. There's no perfect dictionary.
Haven't been down, but it's not easy.
There wasn't a consistent ordered correspondence, but brown, cappuccino to earth, peach, person, you know, there's that P sound. Well,
So we get one.
No, you can have as many as you want.
do you mean instead of tasting them?
You have one tasting or one the same.
Come over here, I can't hear you. Yes, yeah, yeah. Right. So Umar was saying that you could just write the flavor as a substitute for the word. But here, I think the fun that I was trying to bring into it is that using a taste is a different way of assigning meaning that we don't usually use. We write words, we substitute other words for, you know, and that's pretty normal. To put flavors in your mouth and determine meaning from them is something we don't normally do. Yeah, and also to get us out of the rut of associating meanings with words, with like written things, and instead associate meanings with a different sensation. Yeah.
Well, no, I thought you played with John. Oh, I played with John. Okay, that's why and I kept the ones for me too. So.
And then do I give you?
No, it goes that way. Oh, okay. It goes around, and so he's giving this to me, and I've got to figure out.
What? Did you taste your own?
No.
Did you taste your own expression?
Oh, that's what I should do.
Yeah, so don't forget to put your own expression in your mouth. Literally.
What's that?
Oh,
It means something, so you leave it there. Oh, I see. No. Why did you put the? No, that was. I just put my sentence. So you just keep them together. I have to take them out so I can make a sentence. Oh, okay. The nut is a part of. Oh, yeah, I got it. Yes, I got it. I understand that.
So
Extra challenge, that's all.
the person that you give them to, you know, when we speak to each other, the person that we're speaking to receives our language through their own filters as they receive it. We can attempt to control how they receive it in various and sundry ways, but ultimately they receive it as they receive it. So similarly here, the person who receives the jelly beans from their neighbors can can determine how they want to receive them and interpret them all at once, one at a time, two at a time. Make the colors, put the colors together that they want to put together. What was your question, John? I'm sorry.
I want more order. I want to compel my partner to eat them in the order that I want.
Control.
That's why Elizabeth used tape to create order.
I just ate my sentence in one, like you said, and I really highly recommend that you at least eat the jelly beans one at a time.
Yeah.
Because the flavors all together just taste sweet.
Okay. So,
Even if they're out of order.
Lisa, were we doing
Oh
one
my gosh.
sentence or two sentences?
Let's just keep it at one right now.
the chant.
Okay, so
Okay. Let's start to get some reflections on your experience here.
but we haven't done the hard part yet.
What's the one word you didn't use?
Let's see.
Lisa, are you gonna make
That
a
one.
sentence?
Water.
I'm just trying to hold the container here to allow this all to happen in a relatively orderly fashion. Because this is not something that like you get to do every day. So what are the challenges? Oh, Elizabeth has given me. She's
Well, you're
given
the
me.
next person, right?
I am, and I have to do these in order, right?
But you didn't
You
give
don't
me
have
an
to.
order.
I don't have to, but
Okay.
That's up to you.
okay. Let's try this.
Okay, this is yours.
Scott,
I think your challenge is like we don't lack of context. So if you have context,
Yeah.
you should. And if you say,
It's all contrast.
I want you to make sure you know that's peach.
Oh, okay.
Did you send
I'm
me
trying
this?
to find my,
Oh,
Yes,
pineapple.
that's,
It's done.
Should I attempt to decode it?
only if you want to.
They look exactly the same.
But then,
You can do
I
that.
just want to savor the,
it's clean,
Ah.
very
I know.
and clean.
Water?
It's done.
I see water dye.
I see water.
The crushed pineapple I didn't get yet. The flavors are back there. Eat yours.
I know, David.
Good start.
Fascinating.
how much time do we have?
Oh, no,
I know water.
I don't think that's the water.
Could be
Yours
seed.
is like, I know water.
What does this mean?
No.
This is referring
I
to
didn't put a
the
line on it.
genius Lucy.
And then the only other option would be
I'm going to leave that.
Can I look at your list real quick?
Very good.
Run over.
Yeah.
That's orange, right?
I'll make sure that.
No, that's,
Oh,
peach.
oh, that's right. She said.
Well, that's too bad. That's too bad.
It's lost.
If you eat
The message is lost.
If you eat it before you know what the sentence is, that's.
Oh, so something interesting that just occurred to me is like if you wanted to pluralize something, would you just like have two of the same Jelly Bellies?
Yeah.
Like with the sentence that you gave me, the first sentence, is I know sun person. And it could be I know sun people. Like if you just had like another Jelly Belly, like two persons.
Or you smash
be-
it into bits.
Or
I think I'd like to add that on. I think I'll go get that and add that on. That's a good idea.
okay, so let's share. What are some of the expressions that you came up with our very limited dictionary here?
I know seems to have been popular.
Yes.
I could take your suggestion and have it be two.
Oh, thank you.
Eat another jelly.
I'll have another jelly bean.
You helped me write my sentence.
You said, woman sees the path.
Share whichever one you want, either the one you created or the one that was given to you. I think the one that was given to you is the more interesting one to share.
Well, I haven't figured it out, so.
Does somebody who has figured it out want to go? You figured it out, right? No?
Elizabeth figured out mine. It's pretty simple.
Well, say it aloud so that we can start hearing what expressions people created with our 9-word dictionary.
Woman sees the
Okay, John gave me 4, and I think it said, I know Earth Path.
That's correct.
Okay, we're communicating. And it tasted great.
Oh, okay. Speak it up into Athena. You guys are kind of far away, so so that's getting a little mystical there. Yeah. Cool.
And there's an and in there?
And
Well, it seems like the conjunctions, the functional words, the conjunctions, and the why is it going out of my head? And the definite article and indefinite articles were inferred.
Eileen has a humdinger of us, and she is mine.
All right, why don't you tell us?
See, I know I die on the path, and the earth and sun die.
That's a mouthful.
You get the award for, I think, like using them all.
You Scrabble that game, you win.
Right.
Should I say yours, or why don't you say yours?
Oh, I sent her, water person sees Earth. I was thinking about our evolution from water to land.
Sounds like science fiction.
And I had, it was in her, what she gave me, I made of it. Woman sees the path of earth, sun, and moon.
Can you guys in Zoomland hear us? I'm seeing something in the chat saying, you can't hear.
No, not anymore.
Owl is on, yeah. Well, just speak up. Okay, does anybody on this side of the room want to share?
I'll share what I think you gave me here.
Okay, and that's from Elizabeth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should have given yours to her.
It says, I know some people, and I know the path.
All right, that was person.
Peach jelly belly.
Lisa, they did that quite a bit in Italian. You want to emphasize something, you just say the word twice.
Well, we were having a conversation in the car on the way over here. John explained that. Why don't you sing it, John? More and far?
Oh. You know, my Swedish friends, mother is more, father is far, and grandmother is more, and father is far. And then we assume it just keeps going.
Okay. Are we done? You guys want to do it or no? So you should think a moment.
You already just, I saw, I know paths to die.
Well, I didn't make the sentence the same way. I sort of like tried to combine the concepts to make one word.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and I added an animal.
You see, that's what confused me.
And so David is confused.
You added an
He
almond?
hasn't been given the key.
Yes, it's something about yes.
But the I pass.
So Gregory is a Jelly Belly conlanger. He's actually adding new types of concepts to our Jelly Belly language.
Or another language.
Okay, so the first four, basically the jelly beans, are saying I pass, die, no, which was my association of concept to say individuation. And the almond is a tree nut, so it's like individuation is nut.
Is nuts?
That's it.
And David was supposed to.
I'm supposed to
He
figure
was,
that out.
he was supposed to be very clear.
Well, David knows German. He knows how the Germans put concepts together to form new ones.
Yes, yes. Well, I agree, but I don't. Individuation is not. Now, how much?
That's this is really great. I had no idea how this was going to go.
I like the concept.
What was your metaphor?
I use water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the message I received was chop banana, coconut, cherry, and lime. And so banana coconut cherry lime is supposed to say, I know the best of the juice.
Catherine sent you that message?
Yes.
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah. But this is it. Each time I think at this point we can say that what's handicapped us is the lack of context. And so I think that the next leap to have a better language, more than more words, is a context. And so, like for instance, with David, I mean, obviously, I was thinking, analytical psychology or the Jungian world. So, if we are, well, we are going to make association of ideas within that world, and so we can try to see what Jungian concept we wanted to.
Well, the thing that confused me is I know Pat died, but this thing here. What is the meaning of this? That confused the whole thing.
That's the unknown.
Yes,
the
yes,
untouched.
yes. If I had just kept it simple and saying, oh, this is a nut, rather than trying to figure out,
What the nut means. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Sometimes a nut is just a nut.
Well, remember that Gregory is a French speaker.
It's even worse.
I was taking that into consideration, but I still.
Okay, so did this exercise reveal anything to you, such as assumptions about language or anything else?
Well, the other thing is that it's the use of jelly bean is funny, but at the same time, it was a common handicap. It was to use the jelly beans to say something, because what basically everybody did was to build the sentence or the concepts from the words, not from the jelly beans. And so the idea was to sort of like, where's this added step? And maybe what you want to show is that in general the words we use are this added step. That is that we need to see through these words to go further, to utilize what's behind. It was a limitation. It was not for me not to use the intermediate. Basically, now I was cheating, just using the words to build the sentence and recoding it.
Right. So there could have been another way of, if I had said, construct it in terms of flavors that go together well. It would have been a different exercise.
Well, that would be completely subjective as to which flavors go together well.
But that's not how, so.
Yeah, well, same with some words.
Same thing with English.
Yeah.
And so if we had more time, I would consider, jelly beans add another layer to the way we speak language. I mean, to the way the language is spoken. For instance, when we speak in English, we often speak in multiple layers of meaning. Mm-hmm. And the jelly beans would add another layer of meaning on top of the one that we are ascribing to the jelly beans themselves.
Yeah, and the original scene is that we artificially constructed the list of words, yes, based on consensus and voting, but in the end, none of us intuitively associated the aromas with the concept. We had to go back to the translation. But if with some magic, we would have basically surveyed ourselves, just like thinking about the aromas of actually eating the jelly bean, and say, well, what is your first thought when you eat this jelly bean? And regardless of what is the name of the jelly bean, let's say you don't know that banana is banana, you eat it, and so oh, my first thought is that. And so if we would have been like, if we would have been agreeing on like the feeling of eating that jelly bean, almost the phenomenological signal, then after we could have just have different ones and see we would have influence in the language because it would have come from inside. And here it was more like a something arbitrary that we had to refer to.
But there is that, however, there's a portal of arbitrariness in language. I would say, first of all, generally our language is very visually oriented and leaves out most of the sensorium of tasting, touching, smelling. And this I find very interesting in that regard. But to say, I mean, what is the difference between the word light and fright? I mean, they're very similar in sounds. They're very slightly different, and we can choose an infinite number of words that are only slightly different in the way they are constructed, actually. The morpheme of the word. And yet we have come to associate it as if there's a huge difference between light and fright in our meaning. Why? How did that come about? How did that get structured? Light means this and feels this way, and fright means this and feels that way. There's an arbitrariness there.
We have many words which are multiple meanings.
Homonyms?
Multiple meanings all the time, and you have to understand the context of the sentence in order to understand which meaning to apply.
And David, I'm just reading David Bohm, he also emphasizes that we have to carry that sense of contextuality from the beginning of a sentence to the end of the sentence for it all to come together. And the coming togetherness of the words, the cement is, as he called it, implicit. There's an implicit quality that draws it all together.
If you think English is hard, German is much more difficult in that sense. But you have to wait until you get to the end of the sentence to figure out what the context is for the.
So there's a lot going on.
I think another way of doing it would have been to allow us to use a paragraph or something like that, that the concepts or what we would have here would function as nodes, as just something that we could use or not use, but that we would go into it more with the idea of viewing and putting colors together, having them useful as nodes and paste, but being able to construct something that you only would have thought, or you think you would have thought, just having it as a crutch, not as the sort of be-all that it took over, and we had to, pause the very small language that we have.
But it was a selection of Jung-tone words, right?
Right,
That
I
was
know.
the instruction.
Right.
And how interesting it came out to be rather macabre.
So, poets do this. Joyce does it. There are certain writers, and Joyce plays with language. I mean, he plays with the sounds of it and puns within the prose, and Dylan Thomas uses nouns to be verbs, and he plays in different ways as well, and maybe some similar ways too.
The calm language you're talking about, are they saying that within their community there is this consensus, or are they doing that same thing? It's like saying, I'm going to do what I want, and it doesn't matter any consensus or anything.
Well, for the people who just make up their own language for whatever reason, there doesn't need to be any kind of consensus. It's just an act of spontaneous creativity.
Don't we call that autism?
Not necessarily. I mean,
Think of Lewis Carroll in Alice in Wonderland, how many words he made up.
right.
And it became, and also, it just became the language because the words he made up were so right.
Yeah, slithy toads are perfect for slithy toads. Yes.
But there's something consensually implicit, and I disagree with your statement. I think it's weak in that regard. The enjoyment of the game requires some implicit field of saying, this is how this language is amusing me, or intriguing me, why I'm bothering to engage it at all.
So you mean he creates a community of consensus by doing it?
And yes, I think that would be closer to my side. For those who are willing to endure, getting his weight cut out alive.
So this is a really interesting point you bring up, is creating a community of consensus. Because when I wrote my novel, it did not have a community of consensus, nor did it take off the way James Joyce's books have taken off. And so no community of consensus has grown up around it. However, the language in Avatar, Na'vi, now has a community of consensus. The ones Star Trek, Klingon language it has been expanded more by the users than was given by Mark Okren, who created. Yeah. So yeah, communities of consensus do emerge if there's sufficient will and interest. And so in moving forward and thinking about what we've called the language problem, and in wanting to, at least for me, wanting to find ways to express interdependent co-arising and things like that in language. Like how then does this kind of community of consensus get built or emerge?
Universality, it could be just the person has an unconscious gift for contacting the universality.
Yeah.
Someone would like to say something. Oh, take time.
The language you've presented, using jelly bean flavors to represent various concepts and entities, offers a unique and imaginative way to communicate. It's playful and can evoke sensory experiences, making the message more memorable. The associations between the flavors and the concepts they represent could be subjective or symbolic, adding layers of meaning depending on personal or cultural perceptions of these flavors. To illustrate the point using this language, I could craft a short narrative or message. In the world where the earth tastes like cappuccino, a journey unfolds beneath the orange sun. I, with my essence of banana, set forth on a path paved with cherries, seeking the wisdom of coconuts and the sights only blueberries can reveal. Along my way, peaches, embodying the souls I meet, join me, their stories blending with mine as we traverse lime-infused waters. Our quest, ever driven by the longing to uncover what lies beyond the crushed pineapple veil of existence, guides us towards understanding, companionship, and the myriad flavors of being. This narrative
That would be jelly being.
Regular, is that AI? Yeah.
How did you know?
Covered a lot of ground.
It did.
It was
Yeah,
syntactical?
It's good at that.
So,
I was gonna say, the consensus thing, my mother, when she was little, developed a language with her best friend, and they would speak it together, but it was kind of just the two of them, right? And it was a necessity, because they didn't want their parents to know what they were saying. So that's another way to get consensus, is like, we have to do this to be hidden, right?
yeah.
And two was enough, I guess, to make it work.
Well, that would probably just ask that question. Is there such a thing as a private language? Does that contradict what language even means?
Wittgenstein specifically said there's no such thing as a private language. Remember?
It would be something, but it wouldn't be language.
Just on sign language, two twin sisters started off, it was their language, and from then it became for everybody else.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I've heard that often with twins. The twins would do that. Yeah.
And in the category of less is more, one language person, I have an example of, he probably passed away now. It was when I was in my 20s in France. I knew a person that had lost his wife. And when he lost his wife and became a widow, he basically started to write pages and pages and pages of characters that looked like little spirals, and it purposely meant nothing. It was, you couldn't translate it. And if you ask him what was the meaning, he would tell him, well, there is no meaning. But nevertheless, he was writing pages and pages and pages of text, and it was gorgeous, but it was not meant to be deciphered by anybody. But he would do it compulsively, and yeah.
Could he decipher it? Or was it deciphered?
No,
It was
not
indecipherable.
even. Or he would tell you that there was no translation to be provided, but nevertheless he would write pages of text.
No, AI could try and figure that out.
So just to kind of close things up here, and to look to the future, like, what if we did this kind of exercise again, but using different sets of assumptions, for example, about logic. How might logic be different if we reasoned using lemon, lime, and banana coconut? Where you can see where I'm heading. I'm heading to a pina colada logic.
No, you're heading for a chocolate one.
Or semantics, what if I presented you brought up context before, and what if I presented the jelly beans to you on like a round plate or a square plate to indicate a different context, or in a paper bag, or just handed them to you, or, those are other things to consider. What about a different category structure? Like, what if we didn't have things and actions, like, you know, we were doing nouns and verbs? But what if we used ongoing processes versus stopped processes? What if we used Whitehead's notion of actual occasions as a category, or virtual occasions, or imaginary occasions? What about, you know, categories of the psychoid? Since we're a Jungian group here.
Good choice, yes, psychoid.
And culture. So how would our culture need to change if we wanted to implement any of this? But that is a topic for another session, because it is a huge topic.
And you have to buy the book.
When it comes out.
When it comes out.
But Lisa has a special rate for Jung group members.
I would like to just randomly take some of the Jelly Bellies, throw them in a line, and see what kind of poetry it makes.
Start talking.
Oh, yeah, sort of like refrigerator poetry.
Or maybe
Yeah.
it's a secret message, so.
Right, or what if you organized them by color, you know, by the rainbow? What if we, you know,
I
had
just throw them out there and see what it says.
yeah, that would be the I Ching approach.
Yeah.
We could have an I Ching approach to Jelly Belly language.
I think just one of the senses I got, again, it's instead of visualizing or again, various logics, there was a sense of this is triggering other neurological structures, taste structures. And it was adventurous. I thought it was adventurous.
It was great.
One thing that it brought up to me, the struggle to try to connect with the meaning behind the words. Our dog has started talking in multiple different sounds, and it works. And this is the first dog. We've had many dogs, but this is the first dog that's really developing a language with us, and I've really been intensely noticing that because it's absolutely fascinating. And it just reminded me of the drive to connect, or the yearning to connect and understand and make oneself understood, and but she is actually able to speak to both of us quite a bit now. And it just reminded me of, it just asked the questions to me, this is a dog, but do other beings speak? Of course they do. Do what we call inanimate beings speak? I suspect they do. Seems like the more we learn about anything, the more complex and communicative it becomes. Plants now are talking and experiencing pain, and I know I just wanted to throw that out because it just goes off in so many different directions. Like, what is the origin of language? I'm beginning to see it in our dog as wanting to communicate, wanting to connect, not just about food.
Right.
Vocalizing.
Yeah. Well, we had, Lisa and I went to a concert at what was the place in the barnyard? The Henryville Library, Carmel version. But anyway, this fellow who connected electroencephalograph.
Was that Nico?
Yeah.
I know Nico.
Yeah.
And so he would have various stimulants of the plant and how the plant would respond by EEG patterns.
Oh.
Yeah. Nico. Yeah.
Nico Joris.
Yeah, Nico Joris, right. Yeah. It didn't seem to work all that well to me, but it was interesting.
I never saw that act. But I know he was doing that for a while.
But in terms of gestures, I mean, Robin has a cat who is extremely explicit.
Yes.
Bunny is unmistakable sometimes, particularly in Zoom sessions when Bunny says that's enough. Because Bunny comes and hops on the keyboard in front of the camera. This is over. Been here, done this.
So anybody in Zoom land, did you do this at home? And if so, do you want to share anything? If not, do you still want to share anything?
No, it was very interesting to watch and to contemplate, you know, like the types of ideas with how you put them in different orders and how many you might add to change the meaning of a particular word. And yeah, it was fun. I was kind of glad I wasn't eating a whole bunch of sugar. I sat here to eat popcorn watching my friends do some fun things. It was great.
All right.
Interesting, we have the word meaning has come up in many of our expressions. And we haven't taken up tonight the meaning of meaning.
We could spend a whole session on that.
I do want to say that I showed my son, I was like, hey, look what we're doing. You know, we're creating a whole language. And I showed him the Swadesh 100 words list. And he said, this is great. I'm making a video game right now. I could totally use this. And I was like, all right, knock yourself out. So I send him all the different lists. And, maybe he'll come up with my sister had made up a language with her friend. They said egg after every vowel. And after a while, you'd start to understand what they were saying, kind of like Pig Latin, but making new languages is quite fun.
Yeah. Well, I do want to acknowledge that we're a little after 9 o'clock, so if anybody has to go.
Got a message from Andrew?
Yep, he says, appreciate the invitation, just as always, thank you. All right, thanks, Andrew.
I have a picture if anybody wants to see it.
Oh, yeah. Hang on a second.
While you get that picture out, Catherine, yes, we are anticipating a present. Go ahead, get it ready. Later on meaning. Bob Sterner is going to come and talk about Jung and history and Jung's use of history and so forth. And I'm also hoping that Bob is going to do a session on the